I know it's the end of July, and a lot of people are probably not looking forward to fall, but there's just something about the fall and the winter months that bring me to life. I've always enjoyed those months, it seems, more than others. But one thing that I really love about fall time is decorating. That brings me so much joy, and it brings me just the sense of peace. I love the coziness in my home and just the way that it feels. And so, in the spirit of self care, today I'm going to make a cozy meal. And then I think I'm also, because I'm also ready for all the pumpkin things, I'm going to try my hand at making my own pumpkin sauce for my coffee and a pumpkin cold foam or creamer. We'll see which one I decide as I get going. And then we're going to dive in and do some more fall decorating. Before I dive into all the fall things, I just want to give a quick update to my progress for this month. This month did not go as planned, and while I could be disappointed or hard on myself, instead I'm giving myself grace, and I'm just doing something to get myself out of this rut that I've seemed to have gotten myself in. July started off with vacation, which was awesome. I got behind schedule because I didn't realize that I would have such a hard time uploading the video that I had recorded before I went. I don't know if it was my computer because of lack of space, or if it was the Wi-Fi, or maybe it was just the universe telling me that I didn't need to be worrying about posting a video. I needed to be present and be enjoying myself. So that's what I did. I enjoyed my vacation. We had a lovely time. And then I came home, and when you go on a trip or you go out of town and you get home, it takes a minute to get back into the groove of things. Somewhere along the way, I won't say I lost my motivation. I just was so exhausted, and old me would have pushed through that exhaustion and probably would have ended up burning myself out, and I wouldn't have kept going. So I'm trying to change that habit, and part of doing that is realizing when I need to take a break, when I need to rest and let my mind and my body recover. So now that I've done those things, I'm back into, I'm back to working on what brings me joy. And I had planned out all these videos that I wanted to do for this channel, but I'm feeling the need to shift a little bit. I still am going to be very heavily incorporating self-care and self-love and positivity into my channel, because that is something that I truly, truly believe in. But especially with the fall time coming up, all of the holidays, I also want to take time to enjoy those things, and I thought I would bring you all along for that. So I'll be sharing things like my fall and Christmas decor, some thrifting and some shopping and some crafting, because those are all part of my self-care. And I think it's important for us to honor ourselves and honor our bodies and our minds when we need to. So that's a little bit of what's in store for these next couple of months. So I hope you'll stick around for that. And if you're new, I hope you will subscribe and enjoy this video. We are going to be kicking today's fall decorating off working on my coffee bar. This is a little before picture, so you can get an idea of the space we'll be working with. And before we dive into decorating, we're going to take a look at all of the decor. So as you can see, many totes, and I'm also taking a look and trying to keep in mind this other space here that I will be decorating in the next video, the mantle area and these lovely new to me this year shelves. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do here. I just got some things sitting there now that I'd picked up this year when I did a little fall shopping. So, lots of bins to go through and lots of things to look at. I've also got some DIY projects that I'll be working on, so stay tuned for that. I made a little trip to the Dollar Tree and picked up some supplies. If your Dollar Tree is anything like mine, when they get stuff in, if you don't grab it, you may not find it. And then these are just what's inside the bins. I've got pumpkins galore, florals, all of these from past seasons. I've been, I would say, gathering this stuff for the last 4 years, I believe. So it's quite a bit. And as you can see, the animals are pretty excited. This is their favorite time of year. Does anybody else have a pumpkin obsession? I really feel like at this point I might need an intervention because there were just pumpkins everywhere. By the end of this video, you will see the table is filled, and I just have no idea where they continue to come from. Of course, we had to take a little break to enjoy this cuteness. Marvin is so obsessed with the flowers. He just loves, he will take them and play with them for hours. So I actually put this down on the floor for him to play on, and he enjoyed it so much. And then, of course, we also have Oliver. This is his second fall season, and so I'm going to be really interested to see how he handles the flowers this year. Last year, he was just a kitten, and I don't think he really understood what was going on and why we were pulling out all this stuff. This year, he is definitely more interested and into everything. As I was going through this stuff, I realized that a lot of my tastes have changed. And while I'm not overly excited about some of the decor this year, like I have been in previous years, I am going to figure out a way to make it work. I have bought so much stuff, and over the years, I just see so many cute designs and cute themes that people do that I really have had a hard time deciding what theme or what color scheme I wanted to go with. So in my house, I typically do multiple themes. So one room will have one color scheme, one room will have another color scheme. And this year, am feeling more like I want to make it a little bit more cohesive, but that may not happen until next year. I've found some of these pieces that I think I'm going to maybe redo. And as you can see here, I've got a bin full of craft stuff. So some of these, it may be the last year that I use them, and I will find a way to repurpose them next year and make them a little bit more my style. This is just an overview of all the things that I've got to work with. So, as I've said, tons and tons of pumpkins, pictures, florals. There definitely is not a shortage to work with. It's funny though, because last year I really focused on our den. And so I did more of like a blue and brown with like the bright burnt orange. And I had the leather pumpkins in there and did the copper colors in there. So I focused pretty heavily last year on getting the decor that I wanted for that room. So, really, a lot of this stuff that's sitting here is going to end up in there. And I just absolutely love this cow picture. It wasn't a fall find, but I had to get it to go with my other cow that has the daisy. I do believe that my kitchen is going to end up being in cows, so we'll see what happens there. And then I found just a few little cute things to set out at Hobby Lobby this year, and I loved this wooden pumpkin. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I really would like to go back and get another one. They had another design that was like a taller, slimmer pumpkin, and now I can't stop thinking about it. I also really loved this yellow pumpkin, and it lights up. So I was amazed on the price on this one because it was only $12.99 and then 40% off, which blew my mind a little bit. And here is my cow picture I was talking about. I actually had that last year and I named her Flossie after my grandmother. These are the ones that I'm a little bit over. I'm kind of over the meet me at the pumpkin patch sign and maybe the turquoises, but who knows? By the end of this season, I may be back on it. Who knows? And I love this sign. This was one of my favorites that I bought 2 years ago. And this have a cozy day and 'tis the season to be folly. Those both go in my den, and I absolutely love the way they look in there. Again, these are a few things that I'm maybe not as excited about this year, but I have a feeling once I get them styled that I will like them a lot better. I do wish that I didn't have things like so many things that had words on them. A few is great, but I really want to find more pieces that are like this picture here. They're just a picture and not so much with all of the words. And I really loved the simplicity of this pumpkin picture this year. I believe they actually have a turkey as well that I don't know, I may end up with for Thanksgiving. Of course, typically by Thanksgiving, my house is full out decorated for Christmas. So I guess we'll see what happens there. And then on to some more florals. I used a lot of these stems to add into my garland because I don't really have a lot of like fuller garlands, and those things are expensive. So then, of course, I had to get the coffee cups all washed. I love to collect coffee cups, especially for the seasons. And so this is something I was really excited about to be able to pick out a new mug every day for my coffee. And it looks like I have enough, and I'm sure that I do, but I'm going to end up, I'm sure, with at least one or two more. And I absolutely love the little hedgehog sponge holder that I found last year at Hobby Lobby. He's made a cute addition to my sink area. And now it's time to begin on the coffee bar. So I just got everything cleaned off, and then I began laying stuff out so that I could start getting an idea of how I wanted to style this area. As I'd said, I wasn't really sure that I really liked some of the things that I had here last year, but I'm just trying to make it work, and I'm also incorporating a few new items there. Um, it ended up turning out really cute, so it just took a little bit of time to kind of decide where everything should go. Tell me in the comments, do you change up how you decorate an area year to year, or do you tend to stick to the same things? I've found that like I mostly will find a style that I like or decorate something the way that I like one year, and then the next year I have a hard time doing it differently. So, I'm really interested to hear how you decorate for the holidays. I love adding florals and pops of color throughout my home with the florals. I feel like it just adds that little extra something that it's been lacking. As I was trying to put that first garland up there, I realized that I actually had this lighted garland that I bought last year at the Dollar Tree, and I never got around to using it. So I decided to string it up there and see what it would look like. And I absolutely loved the way that this came out. It adds that little bit of brightness that I needed to warm up this area. And I actually ended up going back to the Dollar Tree and grabbing a couple more for a couple of other places in the house. I believe this was one of the $5 items at the Dollar Tree in the little section that they have that's like the super Dollar Tree. And while it makes me sad that items are no longer just $1 there, I have to say this was a great find even for $5. This little harvest sign, I still can't figure out how to make it work. I thought it was so cute when I saw it a couple years ago at the Dollar General, and I don't think that I've hung it the last 2 years. Once I got this sign fixed up there, I realized that I had another one of those plates. It's another dog plate. I bought it last year, and I love the little Dachshund. It kind of represents our Dachshunds, but then they had the like yellow lab looking dog, and I was realizing that I actually didn't have a stand for it to go on. So I'm telling my husband that I'm going to have to make another trip back to the Dollar Tree. And I did that. And then when I came back, I forgot to hit record. So this is how the bar turned out once it was all said and done. I was able to get my plate put up with the little cup, and I just love those little dogs. I think they're so cute. And this area turned out to be so nice and cozy looking. This little fox, the Dollar Tree had several little forest animal figurines. So I got the fox, and I believe there was a raccoon and a hedgehog. Those look so similar to the ones that Hobby Lobby have, but for a fraction of the price. So if that's something that's your cup of tea, as you can see, there's the little groundhog that I got, one from the Hobby Lobby and one from the Dollar Tree. So if you're into the little forest animals, definitely check out the Dollar Tree and see if they've got some that you would like. I loved my little pumpkin bowl here. This was probably one of the best finds that I've had in the last few years. And I really love bringing that out and putting our coffee pods in there. This area just makes me so happy to see, and it makes me so happy to make my morning cup of coffee. Speaking of coffee, now let's make some yummy pumpkin syrup and pumpkin creamer to go in our coffee. I will have the recipes that I used for this down in the description bar. While it was a little bit time consuming, this recipe turned out so good and was so easy. The thing that took the longest was just bringing everything to a boil. When I cracked open that can of pumpkin, my animals got so excited. I give them pumpkin all year round, and I'll show you here a little later just how excited they were, but they thought I was making some treats for them. As I was adding the cinnamon and the seasonings and stuff, I didn't really go by the measurements from the recipe. When it comes to stuff like that, I honestly just add it as I see fit. I like to pour from the heart, honestly. And this looked so good. It was so creamy. Once that was all good and thickened up and combined real well, I went ahead and turned the heat off and set it to the side to start to cool down. And then I began on the creamer. For this creamer, while it turned out delicious, I will say it was a little thicker than I liked. So next time I would probably reduce maybe the amount of pumpkin that went into it, or maybe a little less of the heavy whipping cream. It just seemed to thicken up after it had sat for a little bit. I'm really looking forward to playing around with some new recipes this season with my coffee syrups and my creamers, but also just all of the things. If you have any recommendations, please drop them in the comments below. So this is the pumpkin creamer. We're going to take it out of this hot pan here in a minute to cool down. And I can, while that was working, I put our sauce in this glass bowl, or I put the sauce into this measuring cup so that I could transfer it and so that it could cool down properly. We have some pumpkin left over, so I know some little puppies that are going to be so happy for this. Let me ignore my mess. Oh my goodness, they love the pumpkin, and pumpkin is so good for your dogs. And if anybody's wondering, what's left in that container is for the dogs. So yes, I am going to probably dip this spoon back in there for the other dogs. They haven't figured out that he has got something that they don't yet. But the little bean. Sandy, Fiona. Oh boy, what do you got? She will straight up eat the spoon. Oh my goodness. Hang on, Sandy, it's your turn. And she is the most polite. She is like the most polite eater. Oh, you got it on his ear, Fiona. We'll have to help you out here, Bean. You've got it all over him. What's going on here? Oh, wait, it's on your back. It's on your ear. It's all over. They love this time of year. Okay, so this is what our creamer's looking like. It looks pretty good to me. I also did a little preemptive taste test to make sure that the seasonings or the cinnamon and everything, there was enough in there for my taste, because I do like mine a little more cinnamony, and I like a little bit more vanilla in my stuff. So tasted really good. The syrup tasted amazing. So as soon as these cool down, I'm gonna make a yummy, delicious coffee drink. I decided to go ahead and transfer the creamer to my glass container so that it would cool down a little faster. At this point, I was getting so excited to try this in my coffee, and I probably would have went ahead and tried it if I was doing a hot coffee, but I really wanted an iced coffee since it was the afternoon. So I really had to practice my patience while waiting for this to cool down. And then finally, after I would say probably 30-45 minutes, it was time to make my coffee. I just realized that I forgot to show pouring the pumpkin into the bottle. That is a bottle I found at the Dollar Tree, and I think that's a great price for those types of bottles. I'm going to be picking some more of those up for my syrups. I just eyeballed how much I wanted to go in there and then added in my espresso, double shot espresso. I was struggling this time of day. Added my ice and then a splash of oat milk before I added in my pumpkin creamer. So now for the taste test. It is not overly sweet, which is something I love. So if you like things to be a little bit more on the sweet side, I would recommend either putting a little bit more of the pumpkin sauce in there or adding a little bit of your favorite sweetener. I'm actually going to add a little bit more of the creamer and then I'm going to drizzle it with some caramel sauce. For me, there is like nothing better than pumpkin and caramel mixed together. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I can't wait to try this in my morning coffee, into the hot coffee, and see how that tastes. But this right here, definitely a winner. I will definitely be making this pumpkin sauce, pumpkin syrup, whatever. It's not really a syrupy consistency, but yeah, these will have to be stored in the refrigerator, but then they're good for 3 weeks. So enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found some inspiration in this video. Be sure to join me next week where we will be decorating the mantle and I'll be sharing a crock pot meal recipe that will be great for this upcoming season.